All right, we're live. What's going on? Good morning, everybody. That's good. Good morning. We're back live. What's today? It's July. It's Monday, July 6th. And we just came off another good weekend, 4th of July weekend. Good times, good vibes. Went to go see the fireworks this weekend. They were pretty nice. Let's see. Let's get this link out. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Here we go. It's that time. It's that time. Time to go to the bank. All right, so let me just pull up this screen real quick. I'm not gonna hold y'all. I did see something pre-market. I can just share my screen. So I'll be trailing this until I'm gonna trail this until opening bell. And then we'll wait for the 15-minute opening range, and we'll play the 15-minute opening range for the session. But yeah. All right. Anyway, if you don't know who I am, my name is Shaq. I've been trading for about 6 years now, 6.5 years now. And just recently I've been introduced to a tech platform that has given me access to an AI bot. All right, so this past like month or two, I've been able to take advantage of the markets simply by understanding how to use this bot, and I've been documenting all the trades that I've taken to get to this point now, where we've taken now 3 payouts from Apex, like just one Apex account, right? That's all I've been using it for. And yeah, it's been a good ride. So we're gonna keep keep it going. Been very consistent, very disciplined, and it's been working out. So I just been showing this to document, like, basically what I've been able to do with it, and basically, like, excuse me, I'm just waking up. Yeah. So if you come to the session and you see something that you like and you want to learn more, you want to know how to get access to the bot, whether you're live streaming and you're seeing setups with me, or you're watching this on the back end, then everything's in the description below. So I have Discord, basically, with all the links that I use to basically create an account, and just trade on a daily. So if you need help with that, definitely go to the Discord. It's a free Discord. You can hit me up on the side, and I'll help you create your accounts, things like that. Show you how to get access to the bot or whatnot. I also post a schedule, let you know the times that I trade, when I'm live, and when I'm doing whatever for the day. Okay, so yeah, feel free to contact me. If you're here on the YouTube and you haven't already, just like or subscribe. Like I said, if you're watching it now, or if you're um, watching this later, and you like the way I explain things, feel free to continue to tap in. Um, but yeah, I always start off. I want to let everybody know I am not no financial advisor. I am not no educator. I am not no guru. I'm just a regular person who found a way to make some money using this bot, uh which allows me to take care of things in real life, which is crazy. um but yeah, so basically on these sessions, I'm pretty much just gonna be vibing out. I'm not really gonna sit here and be like talking too much. I'll explain how to use the bot itself. But after that, I'm gonna be chilling. I'll probably listen to some music. I might unless you have any questions, uh yeah, it's just gonna be a vibe. It's not like for me to sit here and explain to you, you know, the X's and O's of trading. Like, I have a few things that um that are in the Discord that'll explain, like the trading sessions and um candlesticks, market structure, things of that nature, and as a visual, so you can see it, and it also has explanations at the bottom. So that's all in the Discord if you want to like get technical with stuff like that. And like I said, if you have any questions, just ask them on the channel, because it may be a question that somebody else has. So the goal here today is, like I said, to trade the opening bell session. Um, we're going to trade the 15-minute opening range. So from 9:30 to 9:45, we will not be entering any trades. We're just going to watch the market, like literally watch the market. Hopefully, it creates a range for us for the day, and we'll take the trend or whatever Nas decide. Not the Nasdaq, or in futures it's called NQ. If whatever it decides to trend for the day, that's the trade that we're going to take. If it decides to continue to range or consolidate or move sideways, so those are like, you know it's all the same thing. Then we'll just, you know we'll be patient and we'll wait. um it's it's not a race, y'all. So like, one trade can, you know do a lot for you. So it's not about entering a whole bunch of times. It's not about trying to make a lot of money at once. But if you continuously take the same type of trades, then you'll get your runners. You'll get those trades that um that leave your entry, and you know you'll run it up. And you only need like one or two of those out the week, especially trading with a funded account, because they have their rules. So um, the rules are pretty simple. Like, it's not hard. They just want you to make. Well, I have a 50K account, so like they just want you to make $250 a day, 5 days, and then have like a 50% consistency rule that they have attached to it, and then trade for 5 days. Once you pass that, once you do that, then you can withdraw up to. Well, at first it lets you withdraw up to like $1,500. And then this is for Apex, by the way. So like, um it may be other like I don't want to say brokers, but firms, I guess. Yeah. Maybe other like firms that allow you to take out more or less. But just for Apex in general, just so for anybody who's following what I'm doing, um, those first two payouts are 1,500, and it gradually goes up. I think the third payout you get two bands, and then by the time you get to 4 and 5, it's three. So, those are some pretty good numbers, if you can follow these rules. And each week you can start taking these payouts. Um, Now, someone said on the last session that Apex is pretty slow. I'm not gonna lie, it is pretty slow. Uh, because of the start of July, I was planning on opening up a Lucid account. I heard Lucid was pretty good. So if you see my setup a little different, but I'll explain like whether I'm using the Apex or Lucid accounts. Um, but yeah, that's what you'll be seeing pretty much from here on out. I may get that account later today. Um, but yeah, so that was a lot of chatting. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, just let me know, and then we'll move from there. I just have to do the rundown just for anybody that's new or anybody that don't know what's going on, right? So if this is your first session, or maybe you're just watching and you don't have a trading account or anything, you're just watching. Um, Basically, what is going on is we're trading in the largest financial market in the world, right? Um, it's about $7.3 trillion being moved in this market every day. And, the goal is to just take a little piece, a couple $100, you know, if we're blessed enough, we'll make, a couple thousand, whatever the case is. But it's not really about the money. Once you learn structure of how the market moves, the money just kind of comes with it. So, just be patient. Um, don't trade unless, you see what you want in the market. Um, and now that we're live on stream, I'll try to take the best trade possible, so that way, for those of you that are trading with me, um, can also see success and see how simple it is to get an entry, um, and make some money. All right, so y'all can see that like the blue arrow and the red arrow. I did enter a trade before we got in. It pushed up to about $400, $500. I did not take it. I moved my stop loss to break even, and then as you see, it came back and it took me out. So I didn't necessarily win anything or lose anything. I got stopped out at break even. But I did see a nice setup before the stream started, so I tried to snipe something. I should have just took my profit. I was up $500 in, what is that, less than 10 minutes. I didn't take advantage of that. But that's like something that comes with this, you know. It's definitely money to be made. But now that we're getting closer to open and bail, I'm just going to wait and take the best setup possible, because it wasn't necessarily like ranging or anything. But the bot did call out a pretty good setup, and I just tried to enter, um, but it's all good. Like I said, it's not. I didn't win. I didn't lose. But that's something that you guys will learn as you continue to trade, how to move your stops to break even. So you know, a lot of times you're right. A lot of times you will be right. But if you don't protect your trade, and you get greedy, so like you can sit here and say like what I did was a form of greed, right? Because I'll show you guys. Right, I entered on this candle here. Yeah, see, it's a blue arrow. That was my entry. Right, price went all the way up to here, so that's about $500. Right, I could have just took that, and you know what I'm saying, I would have been done for the day. Could have been done for the day. Um, you know, but I did kind of want to get on the stream and then show you guys, uh, how simple the setup was. Just using, what the bot was giving me. I protected my trade, so I wound up getting out when this candle decided to reverse and take me out. But you know, didn't win, didn't lose. So nothing's going on. Anyway, this is how you use the bot. Now, some people, I've been hearing a lot like, "Oh, the bot looks confusing." They rather trade on like a naked chart or whatever the case is, right? So if you have a naked chart, it'll look something like this. Let me just set this up. I feel like it looked different when I share the screen. Anyway, so some of you guys, um, without the the software, the AI, the algorithm, your chart may look something like this, right? And that's perfectly fine if you want to trade like that. I would never tell anybody that you absolutely need a bot to trade, but it does make it simpler. It makes it easier to see to me. But um, it does make it easier to read for me, and I believe that once, like with anyone, once you learn or see how to use the bot, it'll make your trading a lot easier as well. So instead of guessing, okay, the market's going to do this or that, whatever. Um, when it hits certain areas, you'll see the market react. All right, now you can't really see those unless you've been trained or you learned how to trade on a naked chart. So it's pretty simple though. You'll just look for points where the market has hit multiple times. So like these areas here, you can see these candlesticks. This is where price has been, right? So price is over here. And where price is right now is 29,000, and you see it moving, right? So at some point, price was here, right? It came this long line is called a wick. It came here. It hit multiple times here, but every time you see price come in this area, it reacts. All right, so I can make a line, but realistically, it's not. This line is telling me a specific price. I don't want people to think it's a specific price. You want to look at it as more like a zone or an area. All right. So when you have like these zones or these areas, when it's at the bottom, right, these are demand levels or demand zones. Okay. Some people may refer to it as a support level, right? You have these same things when you come to the top, right? So I like this level here. So boom. So you got price touching here, price touching here, price touching here, price touching here. So like I said, I'll make a line, but we're not gonna sit here and make it as if at that specific price, that's when price reacts. We're going to make it at this like level, like this zone. All right, so somewhere in this area price could react and either change directions or make a impulsive move to wherever it was trying to go in the first place. All right, so now that we have like these two levels, okay, we have a support level or demand zone, and this at the top is called a resistance level, or also known as a supply zone. Now, let me just go to this. Now, anybody who maybe have heard these terms of buying low and selling high, and real estate when it comes to like the housing market, that's where most people probably heard about it who's never invested at all, but like that's kind of like where you get that term from when you start, you know, learn about this stuff. It's the same thing in trading, right? You want to buy price when it's at a discount, obviously when it's lower, right? So like look at it like that, as if like when you go to the mall, right, and you see a shirt that you like, and then let's say the shirt is $1,000, okay, and then you know for some reason they're having a sale, and now it's not 1,000. No, no, hold on. I'll break it down like right in front of you. All right, so like this shirt is $30,000, right? Where y'all see where price is. The shirt is $30,000, right? But I want to get it at a discounted price at 29,000. So I will buy it here, right? So now let's say I bought it at 29,000. Now I have the shirt, right? I got it at a discounted price. I want to make money off of it. I don't really want to wear the shirt, right? So this is a whole different scenario, right? So now I bought the shirt at 29,000 and I want to sell it, right? It's not on sale anymore, and I could sell it at its actual value at 30,000, right? So I made money off of, me selling it from here and buying it from down here. Hopefully that was a good explanation. Y'all was able to like catch what I'm putting down, like pick up what I'm putting down for real, because that example was literally off the dome. I feel like that's like a good way to visually see like what we're doing when we're trading in the market, right? So what time is it? Still got 10 minutes before opening bell. So I'm just gonna keep, you know, I I just feel like this is what's needed right now. So yeah, so hopefully this is all making sense. But like um yeah, so you can definitely trade off of these support and resistance levels, right? You'll try to buy from here and you'll try to sell from these levels, right? But you'll get these levels from price that happens in the past. So if price is where it's at right now, you'll pretty much just, wait for it to hit these levels and wait for it to react. Now, just because it comes here doesn't mean that it's going to sell, right? It could break through this level and then continue to the upside, right? And if it continues to the upside, this now becomes the support level when it's below price, and now becomes a support level. And then you'll see maybe like here uh price, because the last time price um was in this area here, and it made a major drop. So I will look at this at level as like okay, like next time price comes here, let me just be careful if I'm still in a buy, because it may sell off. All right, so it's the same thing. Now, mind you, I'm looking at this on an hour time frame, meaning like all these candlesticks represent 1 hour of time. All right, so as you see here, we got 38 minutes left on this one candlestick here. This one red candlestick has 38 minutes left before it closes. Okay, so the higher time frames kind of give you more of like the bigger picture of whatever it is that you're trading for that day. All right, so I like to start off on the hour time frame and then scale in before taking my entry, just to see like what is price doing. All right, so like I said, if you're on a naked chart and you want to trade something like this, you'll start off on an hour and you can scale it in. You'll drop down to the 15, the 5, and you'll do the same thing. But now you're creating all these lines and all this. Like soon your chart will just start to look like this, right? Because you'll have a bunch of these lines everywhere, right? Because you're trying to mark up these zones and these levels that price reacts to, right? Um, Now, obviously, the lower the time frame you go into, these levels or these zones aren't as strong compared to the hourly levels. So like if I go to the and I start seeing a bunch of these zones, it's not as strong. So like price could easily like push levels that you believe price is going to react at, and it's not really reacting. It's just like kind of blowing through those levels. So it's not as like strong of a level the lower the time frame. Okay. So hopefully that's making sense right now. I feel like I never really explained that on any of my sessions, but um, if that's making sense, um, you know, hopefully y'all understand before I move on. All right, because now that y'all have an understanding of that, right, you'll see why or how the bot comes more in handy. Because as I'm opening up my trade, or I'm opening up my chart, I'm waking up or I'm doing whatever, and I'm opening up my laptop to start the trade, I will have to sit here for 10, 15 minutes maybe. I'm gonna say 5 to 10 minutes, right? It shouldn't take 15 minutes, but like if you're new, this could take a while because you're pretty much like trying to really figure out like what's the best spots, and you still have other things that you want to do as far as your confluence of your analysis, that doesn't even rely on just a chart. Like you want to check the news, you want to check these other things. So, you know, uh, me personally, when it comes to trading, I'm not someone who, if I'm being honest, I don't really care about trading. It sounds crazy. I don't really care about trading, but I know how to trade. Okay, so like, meaning like I don't care to sit here and stare at these candlesticks all day. That is boring to me. I wanted freedom, right? I'm not trading, working to sit on a chart all day, right? To make money. My goal is to be able to make money in the less amount of time as possible and then live my life. So if I'm able to just open up my computer and then I can see structure already, kind of like when I say structure, like these points of interest that I've created myself. um and that's another thing, human error, right? um I could just be visually seeing certain things, but when you have like a AI bot that's actually like um going back in history for you and doing. Oh, it's almost that time, y'all. It's 9:25. Trying to make some money out the markets. But like I said, we're not going to trade the first 15 minutes anyway, so I'll keep explaining. Um, so it's 9:25. Opening bell is about to start, but I'll keep explaining what's going on. So human error. That's another thing. Like, there's some of these places that I'm seeing things, but um, you know, I'm not going back all the way in time, like really calculate, is this really a good area to mark up a chart and use it to react off of, right? So when you have a bot, you could just simply and what I would do is this, what I'll do, right? I'm gonna take off these lines because I know that these right here are some major support and resistance levels. Now, mind you, I could be wrong. Like, I don't even know. This is me off the whim. Um, just with my own knowledge, right? I'll take this off. Right. So I'm hoping that maybe the bot is telling me that this is a supply zone and this is the demand zone. I'm gonna assume that because these are some major ones, like this is kind of easy to see, but you're also gonna see. I don't care, whatever. So I lost my train of thought. So on the higher time frames, this is easier to see. But in between it, like you'll see that there's more points of interest, like there's more supply and demand zones, right? So when I turn the bot on, let's see if we kind of have similar things. All right, boom. So we do have, all right, so the supply zone, the point of interest up here is correct. Demand zone right here is correct. But it's also showing that we have some here, which I believe I did have marked up a little bit. But it shows it in real time. So like, it's letting me know that this supply and demand zone didn't really begin until this major sell off and this major buy up happened. All right. So it's not going based off of the past. Now, you read it the same way for everything. Higher time frames, we can see. I know it seems like a lot, right? I'm gonna delete my stuff now. I know it may seem like a lot, but like I said, once you learn how to use this and read it, it actually makes it a lot easier to trade. So that demand zone that I marked up down here, this point of interest, right, is telling me that this is a major demand zone. It's been a demand zone since June June 12th. Now in July, y'all, almost a month ago, right? Price has been coming to this level and really reacting off of this and bouncing off of this level, right? Since here. Same thing with this supply zone up here. This point of interest since the 16th, June 16th. So if price ever comes to, and mind you, I'm a friend, if price ever comes to this supply zone or this demand zone, like best believe, like, the market gonna react. All right. Now, since then, we've had some other big supply zones. And then this one zone. So this kind of starts to tell us, price has been set off. It's been coming to these levels and dumping, coming to these levels and dumping, coming to this level to dump. All right. Um, and then you'll see, like I said, the Nasdaq is a very trending pair. So um, once you start to see the pair trending, let's say it's for a sell, right? And the market is selling off, you will not see any green anywhere on the chart. right? So visually, you're looking at a bunch of red. You already know, okay, the market is selling. Let me get in for sales to make profit. All right. Or you see a bunch of green. Okay, the market is buying. Let me get in at these demand zones to start buying the market. All right. And then once you start to see that forming in real time, then it slows down and you start to realize like this is just a visual for you to have an understanding of which direction the market is going. Right now, if you see green and red everywhere and you see the market moving sideways and you see this white line moving sideways, it's consolidating. It's a ranging market. It's moving sideways. You don't really want to trade in those conditions. All right. That's like trading. That's like that's like trying to have a party in a hurricane. Right. You don't necessarily want to have a party in a hurricane. Like you want it to be clear as day. You know, you want it to be like, I know that it's going to be a nice day today. Like, and then now we can go outside, have fun. Like if the conditions look a little wacky or a little weird, I'm not going outside. I'm not trading. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Oh, my boy JJ's in the building. JJ, let's get some bread, man. Let's get this money together. It's been long enough, bro. Um, but anyway, so moving forward, so we start off on the hour time frame, kind of get an idea of which way the market is going. Um, I said at 9:30, the opening bell just started. So if we move to the lower time frames, we should start seeing a lot of movement. But like I said, the first 15 minutes we are not in it. All right, so this white line is pretty much moving sideways on the hourly and on the 15. See, the 5 minute looks like it's probably doing the same, just off of just looking at the market itself. Right. So like I said, we see a lot of, I say a lot of, but like we see both red and green. This white line is moving sideways. Our entries are on the 1 minute, but we based our market structure off the 5. Okay. So now normally, right, to get a good entry, what we'll be looking for is where's price, right? If price is um I don't want to confuse anybody, so let's move here. So if price is above the white line, we're looking for buys. Okay. If you see a green EMA, looking for buys. If you get a green arrow with all of that, then you're good to enter for a buy. All right. So just off of this call out or the signal right here, let's say you entered off of this candle when it closed, um, and in about 10 minutes of time, that's a $400 move. Now this second candle, like right off the entry, it did drop a little bit. So you would have been about negative 280 if you was to hold it. My rule of thumb is I don't because my daily goal is more so in between 250, 400 and $500. I allow my trades to pull back no more than $300 to $400. So you'd have been good on this one, and that's every trade. I could be right about the trade, but if it pulls back on me $300 to $400, I'm done. I'm gonna wait for another setup. All right, but that's pretty much all you're waiting for, right? And then vice versa. So like, uh, let's see, if you get this signal right here, let's see. So price is below the white line. We got a red EMA and we get a red arrow. All right. So we would have entered. If we held it, we would have hit our daily goal. And then it pulled back about what's this? Close to 500. So I mean, I don't really remember. I feel like I entered this and I got stopped out because I held it. But I don't remember it pulling back on me like 5 something. So I may have entered earlier. But anyway, I remember getting stopped out. So I entered here and I got stopped out on this candle. Like, so I should have been good. I don't remember it pulling back that far. But anyway, that's a trade that you would take. All right, just protect your trade. So far, that wouldn't have been considered as a runner. Look at this. This market is going crazy. But that's the setup that you're looking for. All right. Now, as you get a little bit more savvy and you get more into what's going on, like I said, you will want to see the market start doing things like this for entries. This what I'm showing you, it's yes, it's an uptrend, but it's not like trending, if that makes sense. Same thing with this. Like this was the start of a trend. You could have caught some entries off the breaker structure, but that's like, as you get used to the buy and you start to understand like how to use it. So like I said, this morning, what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait for the 15-minute opening range. We're gonna let price make a decision on which direction it wants to go. And what helps as you continue to trade and look at the markets is to not be biased and be so stuck on like what you believe it's about to do. All right, because you could sit here and be thinking it's going to sell all day and it's telling you that it's buying, but just for whatever reason you got in your head, you want it to sell. That's when you can start getting cooked. All right, so the goal. Oh, I thought you were about to say something. The goal is to not get cooked. If you're going to enter into a trade, you know, go break even at least. Like, don't sit here and watch it be negative and then, you know, what? Yeah, it's 9:30, so that's why I don't trade during this time because it's like this is the most volatile time in the market. This is when everybody in the world that trades, they pretty much trade around this time. Unless
you explain like, could you explain like if you want to buy, would you explain if you want to sell? Could you just like, if you buy low?
Did I explain it? What do you mean?
Because I heard you earlier when you was like, what's that saying that people say?
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, did you explain the opposite? But they were not.
Yeah, it's like yin and yang. So like it's either it's only two things you could do in the market. You could buy it or you could sell it. Or do nothing at all. So pretty much it's a waiting game. Right now, if you look at it, it's moving sideways. It's literally moving sideways. You 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 can trade. You could trade whenever you want. Like I don't want to make it seem like you can't trade, but like you don't necessarily want to trade when it's moving sideways because it's ranging and yeah, it's very risky. Like it's not giving you a direction. So you're pretty much guessing and you can make money. Like it's probably people making money like right now as we speak. They got in, they made their bread, and they're probably done. Or on the other end, it's somebody getting cooked right now. Like they in a trade and they just praying for it to turn back around in a direction. I don't like trading like that. I feel like that's actually gambling. Like, you know, like taking minimum risk to have a big gain, knowing the direction that it's going in is way more predictable than just trying to jump in the market because it's moving so fast. And then, maybe you did guess right, but like, how consistent are you going to be doing that? So one of the things I do in the morning, I trade a little differently while using a bot. Like I said, I trade what you call the 15-minute opening range. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna wait till 9:45. So we got about 5 more minutes, a little over 5 more minutes until that happens. And then we'll mark up the range, right? And we'll look for an entry for that time. In the meantime, let's check out news. So we got some red folders at 10 a.m., which is pretty much right after we get this range, right? So the market is still gonna be pretty volatile. I'm not gonna say that we're not gonna take a trade, but we're gonna take advantage of this impact folder. Now, depending on your broker or depending on what firm that you're in, some firms don't like trading when you trade during news because, like I said, you can make a lot of bread, for one. So yeah, so I'll be careful with that if you like have a broker that doesn't allow you to trade during news. If you have an Apex account, you should be fine. If you got an Apex account, you should be fine. But yeah, so 10 a.m. Just remember it might get a little wacky. 11 is some news, but it's low impact. So yeah, you should. I mean, we should be good. We should find a nice little setup. It should start trending by 10, 10:15, 10:30 the latest, and that's usually when I get up out of here anyway. So hopefully we can find a nice setup before then. If not, I should be back on tonight anyway. So yeah, so that'll be 11, and then that's it. Let's see. All right, so another site is Finviz, right? So on Finviz, I usually check Finviz for maps. It'll pop back up at 10. So during opening bell, it shuts down, but you'll see like it's a map basically saying like what each company is doing, like the percentage that is up for the day. But because we trade the NASDAQ, it's just basically the top 100 companies in the US. All right, so you got Nvidia, Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, Pepsi, all kind of stuff, right? I don't know all 100. I just know that it's a basket with the top 100 companies, and they all combine to make one particular price. So, right now that price is 29,000, and it's moving. We'll go back to that so we can see it at 9:45. It should be back up around like 9:45, 10 o'clock. So, all right. Questions? No. So right now we're just chilling. We're waiting for this move. Like I said, if you guys got any questions, if you guys want to know more about the bot, if you guys want to know anything about trading, feel free to say something in the comments. It could be negative, it could be positive. I don't care. You could tell me I suck. You could tell me I'm the GOAT. Whatever. You can put me on game. Like if you know something about whatever and you feel like it's helping you trade, and put that in the the comments as well. Like, all feedback is good. Or let me know how you trade in the morning. So
You want to get up. Get up. You want to set my clothes. Yeah, no, it always a clothes. Move it over there.
All right, so we got 2 minutes.
You want something to drink with that or no?
Yeah.
Well, what's under there?
All right, so this looks like it's about to be the bottom.
You about to get in?
No. All right, so 20 seconds before the range finishes. And 5 seconds. Oh, excuse me. All right, so 15-minute range is printed. Now it's just a waiting game. Just a waiting game. We're going to check FinViz again. All right. Now, let me close it and open it back up. All right. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of green. All right, we're going to print out on the 5. We could probably catch a quick scalp, but like I said, I do want to wait for it to start trending before anything. As long as if it stays inside this range, I won't be entering anything. The remote.
My stomach is like,
YouTube gonna flag me. They flag me for all my videos. Got a minute 40 before this candle close. We're in an hour supply zone, so this would either be a quick scalp unless it impulses out of this breaking the structure. Fifteens starting to call out. Just be mindful. We got news at 10 o'clock, so that's why patience is gonna be super important right now. 25 seconds until this candle closes. If you take this trade, it is an in and out trade. It's not something that you hold. So we got news at 10 o'clock. So it's a high impact news. So just be careful. It could impulse and go in the same direction, and then you'll be good. But if it decides to fall and you don't protect the trade, then you're gonna lose for sure. All right. So this entry is only invalid if a candle starts to sell and it closes below this level. All right. So I'm gonna give it some breathing room. It might have left this. Well, it left me. I don't know if anybody took it. It hit first target and a second target. Man, so I hit target three in the first 5 minutes. I missed the entry. I made it. Just, so like I said, news is at 10. This is a quick scalp. You should be in and out. If you got in at the entry, you should definitely have it in your daily goal. Target three smack. Just be mindful. You're in a supply zone level. So um, I didn't lose, but that would have been a nice little. That would have been a banger right there. We're gonna see what price does though. If you are in the trade, just make sure that you move your stops to break even. At this point, it hit all targets. The bot did what it had to do. If you want more, then that's going to be on grade. Just make sure you protect your capital at least. But I missed the entry. We'll see if we could play off the level again. But I said we're gonna wait for we'll wait for the news to come out. Check the Discord. Latest branch. Yeah, it's way more volatile than I'm at. That little move that you catch. Pushing like 300 more. Shorty about to be funded, y'all. She made $200 on mistake. Just clicking stuff. Yeah, good. Don't lose your balance. That level seem to be holding up on a 1 minute. See, buyers are, they're not like overly in control, but hopefully she ain't leave us. This will been a good entry though. Stop loss, break even. I just let it ride. Yeah, that been a great entry. Let's do it. Let's do a 10. Yeah, feel the price. And like, 3 minutes. Yeah, there's some nice pullback. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This wick right here is a lot of selling pressure in this area. It's at a major supply zone. I'm on everything. Target 3 got smacked. This trade is about to be invalid. So if there's wondering how to use the bot, it'll pretty much be this arrow, yellow candle, entry, first target, second target, third target. First target should always get smacked. You want to hold to target 3. Once you see target 1 get hit, you'll get stop loss to break even. Should price do. All right, 10 o'clock starts 10 seconds, 20 seconds. All right. We got calm retracement, waiting for clear direction. All right, that might be the news right there. Well, let's go, Nash. Make a decision. Um, what if you hit it and break out? Mm, mm, and we could tell. Mm, so understand. We could tell. Hey, back in the like that. It's a banging combination. Yeah, like that. Mm, so I should call and post. So that's what we need Price to do. Break out. Oh, it breaks the structure. Nothing. I think I want to find my entry once it breaks this level of supply. So if it does that, then it's going to break in this structure on the 15 too. And then we'll have this gap from here all the way here. So, yeah, we'll get like a breaker structure right here. And then that's going to be showing us the market will start to trend outside. This would have been a good area to buy off of as well. But no FOMO. Thank you. No FOMO. I just want to keep bouncing off of this and selling off. That'll be a session. But like I said, I'll give it to about 10:30. Um, before I leave it alone. If we can get some breaks of structure, or market structure breaks, and price back at this level, then we'll play off of that. That's my entry off of 1 minute. So 5 minute, it's about to be a 5 minute engulfing candle. It's good signs. Price going to the upside, and like I said, breaking this small supply zone. So right now, my bias are are for longs. So pullback is pullback is insane. But I just want to get this point of interest right here out the way. Once this is gone, you know, then we can just trade with the trend, and we'll be sturdy. Nasty. You find it there. I need time to tell. Like this. You smoke weed. I like the drug too. All right, current interest is looking like it's about to get broken. What is that? What you about to do with that? Can I hit it in the morning? All right, there we go. We got our break of structure. All right, let's see if we got still fighting. If candle closes above this, we're gonna get a break of structure to print, and then we'll play off of that. This supply zone shouldn't be that strong, but you know, same bed that you left me in. And this open, and then you wet open that you can soak in. You don't like it, I promise you don't love it. Yeah. All right, so let's get rid of that supply zone. Let's try to print this breaker structure. Oh, baby, can I hit it? All right, we got the breaker structure. I'm gonna start looking for some entries. So I don't want to lose more than 3 to 400 on the trade. All right, so this pullback is good. Let it do its thing. Let it do its thing. Potential issues. Just check the high time frame real quick. I like this trade. I do like this trade. I just want to catch it at the bottom. I'm waiting for it to pull back just a little bit, and then I want to take an entry. Oh, don't do that. Relax, relax. All right, I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna take this buy. I'm gonna take this buy, y'all. Um, higher than I want, but hopefully you guys got a better entry than me. I'm gonna let this play out there. You should have a better entry than me. Entry, best entry is like around where the breaker structure is. Uh, but we'll let this do its thing. See if we get some pushes up. Learn. Uh, uh, keep, Oh, some pushes to the upside. Alright, if you hit your daily goal, make sure you accept your trade. It's moving kind of slow, but we should start getting like what we want to see soon. A lot of buying pressure starting to come in. We should get pushed to the upside. Yeah. Um, Waiting for it to leave the entry a little bit. Pull back. We just need price to start leaving our entry so we can protect our trade and then let it ride up. Let's see what's so we're in, this is a fair value gap that price is trying to attack. Okay, that's a good sign. If price can push through the fair value gap, then it's over. We gonna go to the moon for real. The next like point of interest is all the way up here at the 3,400 level. So let's just see what price does. It is just kind of playing around right now, but I'm getting a pullback from my entry. But the whole swing, I'm almost at my takeout level. But this is where the entry that I was trying to get. This is where it was a good entry at. All right, it's at my stop level. Let's see how this kind of finishes. Okay, we got a lot of buying pressure, but yeah, this wick here is is where the supply zone was. They're still trying to test it. So let's see if I get stopped out. Then we may have entered a little too soon, but we should get some pressure to the upside. Yeah, looking nice. All right, it's about to stop me out. All right, so we went up about 200 points, and I didn't took my trade. 200 meaning like I made, well, I was up about like 200, and then it reversed. Um, so I'll look for another entry, but we are gonna push up. That's the crazy part. I don't know if I got in too early. There you go. I'm gonna shoot one more to lose this one. I'm done, but I do see the market going up. Buyers are in control right now. But yeah, I got whipped out again. If you're in a trade, uh, and like I said, you hit your daily goal, just make sure you move your stops to break even at least. But yeah, no, I'm done. I took two losses. I'm not getting it again. That's my discipline. What it is. I think we just entered too early. This is a pullback for higher push to the upside, but we'll see. I'm getting back on at 11 tonight, so we'll see from these entries that I took here what price did. Here we go. Watch it now. It's gonna push up. That's crazy. Too early. Too early, y'all. Then I'll push the upside now. It's crazy. It's Monday. Uh, dang, what? This is like 21 sessions. This is like the third session that I'm gonna leave with a unprofitable. So once the start of the week, we're gonna end the week off good, but I'm gonna stick to my rules. Uh, I took two L's. That second one was I ain't gonna lie, that was crazy. But yeah, here goes price now. Doing this thing. Missed it. Here's what it is. Uh, but I'll be back on tonight. Like I said, go in the Discord. Um, yeah, go in the Discord. Link is in the description. Um, and you have any if you have any questions, just ask me in there. All right. I'm about to get off of this. I'm about to start my day. I'm not gonna sit here all day on this and keep trading. It's not how I've been winning consistently. So, out of here, y'all. I said like, share, subscribe. If you are watching this later, uh, like I said, just hit up on the links in the description. And, regular content. All right.